and working through some prompts and working on this late into the night really just made me feel better, strangely. I think it just got a lot out in the open that I was keeping inside, and so if you'll bear with me through a rather literary metaphor, I hope you'll enjoy this. I nearly drowned as a child. I was caught in a strong tide off the coast of New Jersey and pulled away from the safety of the shore. When the wave is dragging you under and slamming you into the seabed, there's an unexpected moment of stillness, of inertia. Your mind barely brushes against comprehension of what's happening. Your lungs just begin to burn for breath. Your body is surrounded by turbulence on all sides, and yet the surface just stays the course. I was wary of the ocean for a long time, the kind of wariness only a child could possess, that innate uneasy feeling that settles somewhere right around your navel. It's the kind of wariness that goes away when you get older, you become a stronger swimmer, when adult rationality sinks in. You look at the surface of the ocean and find it beautiful. You find it a constant, deep source of wealth, and it's comforting to be wrapped up in the ebb and flow. You forget about the icy claws of the monster beneath. That feeling of inertia, surrounded by turbulence, occurred again as I laid beneath my comforter on the morning of November 9th. I wasn't crying. My head spun from its resting place on my pillow, and my chest was tight. My country, my America, had shown her icy claws. Her surface bucked and roared under the influence of an endless, blistering gale from a source who didn't care what she represented to others different from him, what she gave to others different from him. I spent the day grasping hands and tugging others to the shore where we stood, a huddled mass, shaking and shivering with cold. How are you feeling? Are you okay? So many of us scared to actually say the truth. No, I'm not okay. The gale howled with indignation and shouted to us at the shore, "Why can't you see how different you are? Why can't you see that only some of you deserve the safety of that shoreline? Present yourself so I may judge your worthiness." I felt myself rip apart at my inner seams. What makes me worthy of the shore? Comparisons were drawn. Your skin versus my sex, your religion versus my social class. How do you judge? How can you judge? From the shore, those caught up in the power of the sea don't wait to be deemed worthy from a distance before a lifeguard saves them. They are just pulled to shore. It shouldn't matter that some are considered more valuable than others. I bottled up these pieces of me without really examining them at the time and became a lifeguard. I spent weeks reaching out from my tenuous position on the shore, pulling people along, promising them that things were going to be okay. Then, as all good predictive stories go, I fell in love. Off to the side of this raging sea sat a little cove and a boy with a warm smile and a laugh that chased away the icy cold that gripped me daily in my rescuing. But lifeguards aren't meant to take their eyes from the sea. They don't fall in love until the mission is over, and my mission had just begun. I was prepared to stand my ground in opposition to that obnoxious gale that would grab the most intimate parts of me I had bottled up and rip them away. I didn't need this new cove. I was ready to swim against the tide. And yet here was this boy in the middle of the storm, and I yearned to lay down, if only for a brief moment. So I did. I spent my days guarding the coast and my nights safe in the cove. I forgot about those left on the shore, still berated by the gale and exposed to the surf and left without safety. I abandoned them and hid away inside my bottle. And like all sad cautionary tales go, the safety of the cove was fleeting. The bottle broke. I was drowning. And as I lugged myself back to shore, suddenly those parts that I had stored away, those comparisons I refused to draw, stood as a stark reminder. A stark accusation to unbury my head from the sand and look into the faces of those I left behind. Nothing had changed. The sea still crashed violently, the gale still bellowed with ignorance. Even worse, I was ignorant. Things were not just going to be okay. It was difficult to look at the sea with its waves climbing over and fighting each other and realize things were just not going to be okay on their own. The shore is not safe, not for everyone. Lifeguarding is not enough. Pacifying the sea is not enough. Not anymore. Waiting upon the shore, hiding away from the upswells and the rip currents is the last place I want to be. I don't want a cove or a safe harbor. I belong in the churning tide outside of that bottle, throwing every piece of me into the water. Because here's the catch. I love the sea. I love embracing the challenge of riding the waves, smelling the saltiness and burying my feet under the pebbles in its bed. So I'm entering the rough waters. I'm taking a lesson from my old adversary and friend, the sea, and going beneath the surface to beat at the shore, to shape the shoreline so we all might stand upon it, without want and without fear. No more false senses of security, no more seeking coves to retreat to at the end of the day. Come on in with me. The water is just fine. It's going to be a slow process and I will get tired. My muscles will ache under the strain of treading water. I'll have moments where I gasp for air and get caught in the undertow. I'll be bruised by rocks on the bottom, but I won't be alone in this dangerous tide. Those poor, freezing, huddled masses on the shoreline will return, and together, we'll hold fast to each other. If you're tired, come on my back for a while. I'll swim for both of us. This is how we survive. This is how we carve the shoreline until the day we all can rest upon the shore safe and look at the brilliance of the sea, her shining sea.